Senator Tom Cotton, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and Attorney General Tim Griffin all in Little Rock today to discuss fraud. Hello, and thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Hayden Balgavy. This is at a press conference where they claimed a newly proposed law would target bad actors misusing Medicaid. THV11's Carter Thweet was there and has more from the AG's office.
Some of Arkansas's main political players gathered at Attorney General Tim Griffin's office Friday.
Years ago, something called MFUCUs were created.
That stands for Medicaid Fraud Control Units. Griffin says Arkansas's has been a great success.
130 criminal arrests, 114 criminal convictions, and you see the numbers there.
But Griffin says under current law, his office can only go after providers committing Medicaid fraud and not beneficiaries. Senator Tom Cotton says a new law would change that.
Senator Ashley Moody, a great senator from the state of Florida, has introduced the Stop Fraud in Medicaid Act.
Cotton will be co-sponsoring the act, which will add words like receipt and receiving to language that's already law, like provision and providers of.
Fraud is not a victimless crime. It raises costs for taxpayers and consumers alike, and it hurts the people that Medicaid was ultimately set up to help, our most vulnerable Arkansans.
The announcement comes at an uncertain time for the future of Medicaid in Arkansas. The federal government recently denied a waiver to extend Our Home, the state's Medicaid extension program, serving around 200,000 Arkansans.
We're in ongoing conversations with the Trump administration, and I fully anticipate that will be one of the main topics of what our plan is moving forward to make sure that Arkansans continue to have care, but also that we're protecting taxpayer dollars.
In Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Both Sanders and Cotton are running for re-election in November. In a statement, Cotton's Democratic opponent, Hallie Schaffner, says that Medicaid fraud is a serious but rare crime, and Arkansans are more concerned with rising premiums and a lack of accessible health care. State lawmakers also focused on an audit in Jefferson County that found a $305,000 solar panel project still hasn't been completed more than 5 years after the county paid for it. It also flagged nearly $900,000 in what it determined to be, quote, misclassified spending from former County Judge Gerald Robinson's office. Tonight at 10, we are taking a closer look at the audit and hearing from officials on what comes next. Meanwhile, a Benton County official says he wants Arkansas lawmakers to give voters a way to recall county elected officials. This after State Representative Austin McCullum, the only candidate for Benton County judge, was arrested. Right now, Arkansas does not have a recall process for county offices, but Justice of the Peace Jeff Dunn says he plans to reach out and see what it would take to get that done.
It's a huge role. He is the chief executive of the county. He executes the ordinances, the state laws, etc. What if he doesn't take the proper steps to remove himself from the ballot and he shows up on January 1st and says, hey, I'm the judge? What are our options?
At a meeting late last night, Benton County Republicans unanimously nominated Kara Armas to take over his seat in the House of Representatives. She is the wife of State Representative-elect Brian Armas and would serve through the end of the year.
Well, this is something you typically do not see. Little Rock is seeing worse heat than Phoenix, Arizona. The air temperature, 101 here in Little Rock, feels like 103. The air temperature in Phoenix, 99, and it feels like 98. Dew point's pretty close, though. So for us to see a dew point into the low 60s, that is some bit of saving grace, because if that dew point was close to 70, it would feel more like 114 degrees. Temperatures across the region into the upper 90s to low triple digits. The actual high at Little Rock today topped out at 103. Current heat index, it is 103 in Little Rock. Feels like 104 in Russellville, feels like 102 in Arkadelphia, and it feels like 104 in Searcy. Mostly clear skies tonight. Temperatures only settle down into the mid to upper 70s across the board. And then tomorrow, it's a rinse and repeat situation. Highs back up into the low triple digits. We'll go for a high of 103 here in the metro. And along with that, those heat index values, 105 to as high as 110. So heat advisory and extreme heat warnings remain in effect all the way through Sunday evening. There are some changes in the 7-day forecast, which does feature the potential of temperatures not reaching 100 degrees. I'll let you know when that arrives coming up.
Nathan, can't wait. Thank you, sir. Let's move over to continuing coverage of flock cameras now. We told you last night at 6 about the new safety regulations the company is now rolling out. And tonight that extends one step further. There is now a website called Have I Been Flocked? Now that lets you check if a police camera system has ever run your license plate. But here's the catch. The website relies on public records requests, meaning the information may be incomplete, outdated, or unavailable for some agencies. The link to that website can be found on our website, thv11.com. Every school district except one has returned to the classroom for the start of the school year, and with the first day comes the second year of the Bell-to-Bell No Cell Act. As you already know, it's a way to keep kids more engaged in the classroom by giving them less distractions. But one school district is adding even more restrictions to elementary student screen time. Kindergartners will max out at 30 minutes of laptop use a day, with older grades maxing out at 120 minutes a day.
We want to make sure that they're able to collaborate, that we're able to resolve conflict. All of this is done in face-to-face interaction. We want to make sure that our kids are prepared for the world outside of these four walls, and that includes being able to do hands-on learning, experiential learning.
She adds that the decision was made after the district found research that showed prioritizing interpersonal relationships helps students grow. But for one Arkansas family, back to school season looks a little different this year as they are grieving the loss of their 8-year-old son. And through it all, other students are stepping up to make sure his sister's first day, that tradition, lives on.
They've just showed up in ways that I have never seen or felt in my life.
Ashley Curtright is fighting back tears, and for good reason. This is a back-to-school photo of her daughter she never dreamed she'd be taking after living every parent's worst nightmare. Last year, her son Brady was heading to Jonesboro from Manila with 5 other friends when they were hit in the crash. The moment she got the call, she rushed to the scene.
I was a foot away from them. I heard them. I was there. I'm grateful for that. I needed to be there because my son never came home.
Brady was transferred to a Memphis hospital but died from his injuries. The last 8 months have been difficult for the family, but Curtright said the town hasn't stopped looking out for them.
This community has been amazing. The outpouring of love, the way they show up. For 8 months, they never stopped fighting for us.
Brady had a little sister, Nora, 6 years apart, but inseparable.
It's a lot of pestering, but he would go to bat for her. He loved her.
And one tradition they never missed, first day back to school photos. It started with Brady, and then little Nora joined. Eventually, she got her own backpack to match him.
He started to get older. You would have that little bit of, Mom, do I really have to take a picture? And Nora would be like, yes, of course.
A month ago, Curtright asked Nora if she was ready to go back to school. She didn't expect the answer to be no.
And she said, no, Mom, you don't understand. Who am I going to take a picture with? And I said, what do you mean, baby? And she said, on my first day, who's going to take my picture with me? And all I knew what to say was, we're not there yet. Hang on, baby, we're not there yet. We'll figure it out.
That's where Gabe, Brady's best friend, came in. The two were friends since 7th grade. For Gabe, Brady was a friend he knew he could trust with anything.
Me and him talked about deep stuff, funny stuff. Me and him were just great.
When Curtright asked Gonzalez if he could take a picture with Nora, he knew others would show up for his best friend.
We have a group chat, we're all in it, and I just texted it. I was like, who's down to take a picture? And they were like, all down.
The family tradition wouldn't be broken by tragedy. Nora grabbed a photo of her brother and took her picture with him. But when she got to school, all his friends were waiting for her.
Trying to fight back tears for Nora. It's just community. And she saw them. There was no being scared. There was nothing but, I'm going to own this year.
The pain of losing Brady may never go away. But in moments like these, the Curtright family knows they'll never walk alone.
They will never fill the void for losing Brady, but they have become family because they loved him so much. They love us so much.
A beautiful gesture by those young men. Still to come here at 6, a community center named to honor the daughter of a Razorback legend is getting major renovations. After the break, the place to provide kids and families with a place to learn, play, and build community.
The heat only gets worse going into the weekend. This is the heat risk map showing extreme heat risk across a large chunk of Arkansas. That continues to be the story into your Sunday. That means heat illness like heat stroke, heat exhaustion will be a high probability if you are not smart, staying hydrated and staying cool. There is some hope on the horizon, though. Next 7 days does feature the potential of temperatures a little bit cooler. I'll let you know how cool it will get and also the chance of rain coming up.